In the last few days, NTV has highlighted the plight of farmers in the county of Uasin Gishu, whose maize crop is rotting in the field due to the heavy rains being experienced in many parts of the country. The Ministry of Agriculture estimating the post-harvest losses at 20% and is asking the farmers to leave the crop undisturbed instead of attempting to harvest in order to minimize the losses. This rotting maize crisis is the focus of Food Friday, and Zeynab Wandati was in Uasin Gishu and puts it into perspective.
2017 is turning out to be a tough year for farmers. First came the drought, then the fall armyworms followed, and now there's too much rain. The maize harvesting season started mid-last month, coinciding with the onset of the short rain season, but the rain just won't let the farmers get their crop out of the field.
The rain has actually affected us a great deal because what it's done is this maize has fallen down. It's caused maize to fall down, making it quite difficult for us to combine harvest. Normally, because we're fully mechanical on this farm, we use combine harvesters to do all the work for harvesting, and when maize falls down, the combines can't pick it up from the ground, so we're forced to use people to come back into the field to do manual mopping or picking up of maize that has fallen down. Maize that has fallen down itself starts to rot.
The heavy rain means that the ground becomes too wet to support the weight of a heavy machine like a combine harvester, causing the tractor to stall in the mud. For small-scale farmer, this may not be a big problem because they harvest by hand, but for a large-scale farmer, wet soil means no harvesting gets done.
This is one of the problems actually that you have when you stook your maize and then it continues raining. The maize basically starts to cook, literally, inside the stook. And the result is basically some maize starts to germinate again, others rot. There's no solution to stopping rotting in that scenario.
But even if the small-scale farmer is able to get the crop out of the field, he will likely incur serious post-harvest losses because the harder it rains, the less sunshine there is.
Don't touch the crop, let it stand. It's better when it's standing than when you try to harvest when it is raining. You lose more. As we speak now, the loss is in the region of 20%.
We need the government to provide waivers or to be responsible for the drying of maize.
So you're saying that you as a county government, you do not have a solution for these farmers right now?
The solution we have is to appeal the national government because the cereals board is under the national government.
The advantage that large-scale farmers have is that many of them are able to dry their own grain, thereby partially handling their problem. But for the small-scale farmers, the Ministry of Agriculture says it has already instructed the National Cereals and Produce Board to waive all drying fees for all maize presented for sale.
If maize has already rotted, drying it is not a solution. Farmers will just have to handle it as a normal loss.
We want to ask farmers is, don't let this water also go to waste, because we can use it to produce a second crop. And so if we do that, we will more than compensate for the losses.
We've actually tried to replant, and it's immediately having problems. It's been attacked immediately by the fall armyworm, which was something that we were not expecting. This field previously did not have a fall armyworm attack.
The NCPB opened its doors at the beginning of the harvest season, but had to suspend operations for a while due to the heavy rains. So far, the grain reserve has only received 370,000 bags of maize, far below the intended target of at least 2 million. Still, the country continues to import to bridge the local deficits and has this Friday received another shipment from Mexico, although the importer says that interest in maize is waning as millers shift focus to it.
We have 160,000 metric tons, which is pending to offload under government subsidy program.
While the farmers will be closing 2017 beaten down, burnt from the prolonged drought, productivity eaten away by the fall armyworm, and the excessive rain drowning what could have been a good end to the year, the government maintains that things can turn around by January. Zeynab, Wandati, NTV, for Food Friday in the county of Uasin Gishu.